Just because you're not a sweat lord does not mean you shouldn't live log. You might actually find it'll help you as a raid leader, or maybe assistant raid leader, or maybe just as a player itself. Here are the reasons you should live log. My name's Coyote, and let's get to it. Stupid Coyote. Shout out to all of you who are viewing this video, especially those of you who haven't subscribed yet. Live logging is not a complicated thing. You can actually check out my video how to log up here, and I gotta tell you, it's a very useful tool. Before I even step off, I always start my logs. I always get them going and make sure that they are ready to go for the team. The raid leader's got so much going on that sometimes it's hard to remember to do these simple things. So I go in there and help him out with that. Now, logs are for more than just checking parses, all right? It's actually a great way to see what damage is coming in, how people are dying to different things, what buffs are going out, all these different things. There's so many great things to track. And this is why I'm telling you, it's probably a good idea for you to start live logging, even if you're not worried about your parses, because maybe sometimes you guys are struggling on a boss. Yeah, Nomer's about 6 weeks out from this point, but it's still sometimes weird to come up and see a group running a strategy from week 1 that's just not that good anymore. When we talked about going over logs in these last videos, a lot of people are going to go right to the thing of damage done, where you can check your parses. How did you do compared to everybody? But you want to kind of look at it more than that. You also can look at damage taken and make sure that you're not taking unnecessary damage. This is actually a failure of a lot of raid groups, because your healers can't keep up if people are taking hits from different things. So you can always just look at sources of where they're getting damage from. Should people be getting hit by Chomper? And if it's somebody other than your tank, that means somebody's probably missed a kick. So if you're having troubles wiping with Grubbus, which it does happen, I've worked with pugs that have done that in the past, take a look at what's going on. Make sure you're not missing a mechanic. Well, you're probably now asking, well, okay, so I can see where maybe we're missing a mechanic. Well, what about making a strategy out of this? Well, let's go take the explosive egg from a mechanical menagerie. We actually found out that it was proximity based, that you can completely just leave the egg alone, and I may come up with a strategy video for you to help you with that. But the simple thing to these eggs is just leave them. We found that out after doing a couple runs early on in the pools of Nomergen. We saw that if you would just scoot far enough away, you can just let it be. But you have to make sure that everybody knows where they're at, because they stay up for quite a while before they detonate. This is all a part of that strategy planning that you come up with. Every time you end up dying, you just go back and look at the log and see, well, what did people die to? Take, for instance, some of our earlier pulls on Mechanical Menagerie. We were trying to figure out, well, what does our tank keep dying from? Why? Well, we had one tank taking 2 enemies, and we had the dragon kind of close, because for some better geared groups, yeah, this was absolutely a strategy. They could handle it, but we just weren't that geared. And so our tank was actually dying to overheat. Well, we had to look in. What was causing overheat? Well, that's when the dragon reaches 75%. And when he does that, if he's within 15 yards of things, he causes the other enemies to overheat. So it was kind of killing our tank. He was taking double the sources of overheat damage, and that's actually what killed him. And then once he's dead, the enemies just ran wild, and they wiped the whole group. Healers, don't think you're getting out of this as well. We can always be checking the healing logs and see maybe who's lacking behind in certain areas, whether it's total healing or dispels. This can actually be quite vital in certain fights, especially moving down the line. Are certain things being dispelled? It was a huge thing in Black Fathom Deeps, and we can kind of look back and saying, oh, wait, we brought you along, but you're not doing the one thing that we asked you to do while you were here. There are no real DPS checks currently in Nomer. It is actually a mechanics-based fight. Can we do what we're supposed to do? Well, the boss will eventually go down. We say it all the time. We've killed Mech Engineer Thermoplug with 9 people. It can be done. So you really don't need to worry about DPS, but maybe you've got some guys that are lacking behind. You can always check and see what's going on with it. You can do that compare trick I showed you in the logs video. But for the most part, I wouldn't use it to check DPS, because sometimes people have the pull of their life where there are no mechanics coming at their way, or maybe there's just everything's coming at their way, and it's vice versa. I try not to use it and look at it damage done on a per capita basis. I'm only ever looking at, what did I do? How did I contribute to this fight? As a raid leader, you probably have a whole lot of things going on, so you may not just have time to check on any of these, and that's okay. it may be worth taking on an assistant to kind of help you out. You don't have to take on every task. I do have a video coming up later on that. And I'm just saying, having these live logs going will definitely help your crew improve. I ain't going, Coyote, I'm no sweat lord. I don't want to do all of this. What's going on? Why should I be doing this? Look, there's nothing more fun than killing bosses. I've been with several pugs that just want to do things the hard way. They don't want to improve. And it's like, you want to have fun, but you don't want to kill the boss. Isn't killing the boss, getting the loot, the fun? Like, there's only so many times you can beat your head into a wall before you're like, all right, hold on. We got to stop and see what's going on here and figure out why we're running headfirst into this concrete wall. Take a look at my video on how to download Warcraft logs and get yourself set up so that way you can help out your team. It's going to make you a better team. And like I said, if you can kill all these bosses in a single go, your team's going to be that much more likely. And you can definitely take some stress off your raid leader who's probably got a lot going on. My name's Coyote. If you found this video helpful, please like it. Drop a comment down if you have anything you want to add to the conversation, and subscribe to the channel. I really appreciate it. And as always, happy adventures. Stupid Coyote.